Hi guys, as you know, I love doing beauty videos and it's very fun for me. I like doing crafting videos, I like doing tons of different things. I want you all to realize that there is a more serious side of me, and that side is my mental illnesses. This is the beginning to a very long series about mental illness. I'm making this series in order to raise awareness about mental illness for anybody who suffers from, someone who's supporting someone who suffers from, or even people that are just curious about mental illness. More than 54 million Americans deal with mental illness each year, and very few of them get help. Every week I'll be making a brand new episode that pertains to one of the 5 mental illness categories. The categories include anxiety disorders, schizophrenic and psychotic disorders, mood disorders, dementias, and eating disorders. Now, this week I wanted to start off by kind of giving you guys a background of my mental illness and how I deal with that. So first, I'm going to go through the actual diagnoses that I have. All mental health diagnoses can be worked through. Some of them may be a little more psychological and dealing with the chemicals inside of your brain, but some of them are just emotional disorders. And I always tend to bring myself down when I get any type of mental diagnoses, and it kind of kills me inside. But lately I've been learning that a lot of these things come up because of the stuff that I went through in my past, and I know that I can work through them. So I have all my diagnoses on my phone, and I'm going to go ahead and just read them to you guys. Dissociative disorder not otherwise specified. When they say not otherwise specified, that means that you have some traits of this disorder, but not all of them, so they put not otherwise specified. You're not completely dissociative, but you have traits of someone who is dissociative. The next one is post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD. Major depression, recurrent, severe. Recurrent major depression means that you'll be completely fine and then you'll get big spikes of really depressed times, 3 days, 4 days, a week, just a really big point of depression where you feel really low and you can't get up and, things just aren't going right for you. I do want to make a side note that this video series is not meant for a way for someone to self-diagnose. If you feel that you have a mental illness or that you're struggling with something that's going on, I would highly recommend going and seeing a specialist. I tried to diagnose myself for many years, and a lot of the diagnoses that came up were not even close to what I thought they were going to be. Okay, the next one is dysthymia. Dysthymia is, I like to call it major depression's little sister, because dysthymia is always lingering, always following major depression around. So even though I'll get some spikes of really high major depression, I'll always have that low, constant depression that's always there. And I think that a lot of that stems from what I went through in my past. The next one is mood disorder not otherwise specified. That also goes along with how I was raised as a child, the way I'd learned how to cope with things. It's a more relaxed version of bipolar. So instead of having a chemical imbalance in my brain, I just don't really know how to deal with my emotions properly. So that is something that can be learned and worked through. The next one is mathematics disorder, which makes tons of sense. I have always had a problem with math, and I never realized that whenever I sat down and forgot everything that I had studied the night before, it wasn't because I'm stupid and it wasn't because I am very forgetful. It's just because my brain does not process mathematics on a level that is average, on a level that most people run on. So it's always been really difficult for me with math. The last one is personality disorder, borderline not otherwise specified. So borderline personality disorder is, I'm going to tell you the rundown version of it. Borderline personality disorder is when somebody does not know how to cope with their emotions. I'm also dependent personality disorder. Dependent personality disorder means I depend on a lot of people around me. Like I need certain people in my life in order to feel like I'm sane, like I'm normal, like everything's gonna be okay. And that irritates me, that upsets me to the point where I will get mad and I'll take it out on somebody. So someone who, well, not someone, I'm gonna take myself for example. I say I'm opening this jar of pickles, okay, and I'm working on it, and I'm working on it, and I'm completely fine, I'm not angry or anything, but then somebody comes up behind me and says, you know, let's take my husband for instance. He says, do you need help with that? Instantly, I'm angry. I'm so angry that I'm seeing red. I can't breathe very well. Like, I am so frustrated that he's totally sidewinded. He's like, I don't know what just happened, and I don't know what just happened either. So I'm glad that I finally got this diagnosis, because it shows me, you know, this is something that needs to be worked through. And those are all of my disorders that I was diagnosed with. And the person who diagnosed me told me that my recommended treatment was long-term diabolical behavioral therapy. So it's focused more on going to the root of all of my problems. I went through addiction counseling and addiction treatment for 9 months of my life. 9 months in-house, in treatment, like inpatient treatment. And I worked through a lot of my addiction stuff, and I learned a lot about why I'm an addict and why I use and why I act the way that I act. But I never got to get to the root of why I had mental illnesses. You know, with the dissociative disorder, there's a lot of things that my brain as a child pushed out of the way. My brain was like, okay, I don't want to deal with this memory because it's too much for me to deal with, so I'm going to go ahead and put it over here and I'm going to deal with it later. There's a lot of different things in my life I know that are put away in different compartments because there's lots of things that I don't remember throughout my life. So working through all of these things with a DBT therapist is going to be amazing. I'm so excited to start working on this. This week, like I said, is just the introduction of this series and how I relate to mental illness and why it's relevant for me to talk about mental illness. I want you guys to realize that I am in no way a licensed addiction counselor. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychotherapist. I am just another person that deals with mental illness every single day, reaching out to other people that deal with mental illness. All of the links that I use, I'll probably be using the same website for my entire video series. I will link that below. Just know that none of this information comes from me. I don't make any of this stuff up. This is straight from .org, .gov type of websites. I just want to let you guys know how this all pertains to my life. Now, next week what we're going to be starting with is the anxiety disorder category. And each category has a lot of different specific disorders within it. So we're probably going to do, you know, 5 or 6 or 7 episodes per category that we have. And in between each category, you know, I'm going to add my own personal experience with these things. And I start my DBT therapy this week, so I'm going to go ahead and do possibly a little vlog if you guys would like it, just kind of let you know how things went. This is going to be a very emotional series. I'm probably gonna cry. That's okay. I am going to make it a point to never get ready for this video. I script stuff obviously because I need to know what I want to talk about, but I'm never going to go, okay, I'm gonna do a mental health video, so I need to go put my makeup on and get ready and everything. I want you guys to hear the laundry going, and I want you to hear the water heater and the sump pump, because I'm in the basement and this is my life, and I want you guys to see, you know, all the zits and the unplucked eyebrows, and not everything in my life is glamorous, nor will it ever be, and I want you guys to realize that I'm another person too. I'm talking to you guys like there's a million of you. You know, to me there is a million of you guys. I was so excited when I got 4 subscribers. Now I have 16, and the responsibility is huge. I feel like, oh my gosh, there's some people that are watching and I need to get this message out. I didn't know what type of turn my YouTube channel was going to take. I've been searching for it for a long time. I started out doing, you know, more political, controversial issues, and then I started doing some funny stuff, and then I kind of transitioned into the creative and beauty side of things, and now I'm really excited that I'm going to start doing mental health stuff. I feel like this is kind of my calling in life, I guess you could call it. But yeah, to wrap up, sorry this has been so chatty. To wrap it up, I just want you guys to know that this series I want you guys to know that this series is so important. I don't see anybody out there that's talking about mental illness in the depth that we're going to talk about mental illness. Please remember that you're never alone. Ever, 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 you are never alone. In every single episode, there will be links to every hotline in America below. That includes, you know, mothers with postpartum depression, teenagers. If you're a teen and you want to talk to another teen instead of adult, there's hotlines for that. Hotlines for people with eating disorders. There's a hotline for everyone. Okay, go ahead and give it a thumbs up if you'd like. You don't have to. That's okay too. I will go ahead and see you guys next week for another one of these mental health videos, or I'll see you in a few days for my next beauty video. Alright, I love you guys. Bye!